Hey, it's Keri with Paste, and I cannot believe what I just watched. Showtime's new series, The Affair, blew my mind. The whole episode starts out as a man being questioned by some kind of detective. The show is a flashback of the character's memory. And we meet Noah and Helen Solloway. They're a happy, typical Brooklyn family. Of course, Noah's super hot and women are always trying to get in his pants. Even better, Helen's dad is a famous author, so they get to go to his fancy beach house for the summer. Of course, Noah doesn't like the father-in-law because he's a struggling author, but hey, someday the kids are going to inherit his money, so who cares? And that scene with his son, oh my word, I thought I was going to die. And then when it turned out he was okay, I was happy, but then I just wanted to put that kid in the timeout corner for the next year. Based on the previews and the title of the show, we know that Noah is maybe going to get involved in an illicit affair. And he meets her during this very traumatic life event. And as a mother, this moment had me in a panic on the edge of my seat, freaking out. But after we've heard Noah tell his story for a while and about all the hot chicks he's always seen that really want him, then Showtime throws me for a loop, and all of a sudden, it's Alison's story. What? And here we are, another gorgeous couple, Alison and Cole. She has a dead-end job, they seem kind of unhappy, and then we find out why, because we see that they've lost a child. So you kind of understand the struggle, and you also see the love they still share and how hard it is just to rebuild. Alison has a time limit on her marriage. She says she's 31 and she's going to stay till she's 35, just to see if things can work out. Surfer boy husband Cole, played by the hot Joshua Jackson, is a reason to try to make it work. And while we've got all this background information kind of happening in this show as they're retelling their story to this interrogator, their stories do not add up. I mean, it's the same story, but how they remember it or tell it is bizarrely different. So by the end of the episode, you just wonder whose version of the story is true. So that's why I've devised a fun little game called He Said, She Said, where we're going to talk about the biggest discrepancies in their storylines and decide who we think is right. Obviously, you can feel free to agree or disagree with me, but since this is my recap, I'm going to assume I'm probably right. The diner. He says when he came in, Alison the waitress was super friendly and helped work things out for his daughter who didn't want to eat. And then when the littlest daughter chokes on the marble, he retells the story as he was the main hero, thumping her back and everyone just watched and he single-handedly saved her life. And that then Alison just picked up the marble and put it in her pocket. She says that she told Noah to hang the little girl upside down and that she was the one who actually whacked her back to get the marble to come out. I side with Noah on this one. I say that it was him and his own family taking care of this situation. Alison's appearance. He says she had on a little short skirt, was flirting with him, and had real sexy messed up hair. He acts like she has on some kind of Halloween hot waitress costume. She says her hair was pulled back pretty dowdy and that she had on a regular outfit and that she wasn't really interested in Noah that much at all. Siding with Alison on this one. Nobody dresses that way to work at a little diner on the beach. At least no diner I've ever been to. A walk on the beach. He says he just took a walk on the beach because his son had gotten to bed with him and his wife and he just couldn't sleep. He walked out, saw the bonfire, was walking toward it, and he just ran into Alison, where she started to flirt with him and brushing the sand off her pantyless bottom and offering him cigarettes and eventually inviting him back to her place, where she does a striptease and gets in the shower. In his retelling, she was all over him and he just said no. She says she was sitting on the beach alone and Noah came up and asked if she would take him to the party. But of course she didn't want to because it was the 1-year anniversary of her son dying. He ends up walking her back to the house and she just keeps telling him to go away. She wasn't interested, she didn't come on to him. None of the above. I'm 100% on Alison's side. Okay, I get that Noah is cute and women probably are into him, but not all women all the time. And number 2, if Alison's telling the truth about what happened to her son, there's no way she was coming on to him. The hood of the car. He says he came back and it looked like she was being sexually assaulted. She says it was her choice and that nothing bad was happening, it was just her and her husband. I'm gonna go with a tie on this one. I'm really not sure. Okay, fine, you forced me to do it. I'm gonna go on Alison's side for this one. This episode wraps up with the scene Alison in the interrogator's room and looking over her shoulder, and then she reveals that she has a kid. Who's the father and what is going on? How far in the future is this? Her hair's shorter, but that could happen in a day. Now it is Showtime, so there is some nudity and some language, so just be prepared. But what really gets you is not the salacious nature of some of the scenes, but the actual plot and story, which is why I love this show. Tell me what you thought about The Affair and what you thought about the differences in their stories. Whose side are you on so far?